So, questions and answers. So we have one last shot at this panel. Any questions? Yeah, Bishop.
So this is more of a statement, but this is kind of what I was saying at the beginning, that so you guys, there's all these things, resources that Mary Ann was talking about. Okay, there's this, there's that. You can kind of seek them out and do something. But this is something where, with like divorced and remarried, that area, it is a big deal. We hear about it a lot, and in our listening sessions. The diocese can help with this too. You know, we can really hit it hard this next year. We can put stuff in the Catholic Messenger and clear up misinformation and just get things out from bulletin stuffers, and beef up what they're doing in the tribunal already. Let's do that in a bigger way, and really advertise it well, social media and what have you. We can do stuff like that together as a diocese. Better, if we're doing it all together than each little parish trying to do that on their own. So if you're interested in that, put it down in this this thing at the end that you'll have to. Here's what we want to do something that's help us diocese. So that, and like the LGBTQ thing, the clergy's asking about that. Well, we can do that as a diocese. We can pull that off. We have our St. Vincent Center that we've got people there that work in these areas and can kind of, and resources to do these kinds of things. So let us know what it is. If there's a lot of parishes, schools that want help with, there's one area and they don't think that they can do much on their own, they need some help with it. We can do stuff at the diocesan level next year.
That being said, Bishop, too, am I on? No? Gosh.
Yeah.
Am I? No, am I good? Am I? Okay, all right. We can do that. We're going to depend on individual eyes and ears in the parishes, because a lot of times if you say, even tribunal, right? If you say we're going to do this for annulments, but unless people are know what people to invite to these particular things, we don't know. We can't know from the chancery who those people that would benefit most from these services are. So that's where it's keeping your eyes and ears and hearts, and not just the people that are in your parishes, but their relatives. So if you put something in the bulletins or you get out there, then aunt or grandma or whoever who knows the situation, that's how we start to reach beyond our parishes. So really encouraging that's where you need the help.
Yeah.
So, please, I have the microphone here.
Yes. We've got one in front of you.
Yes, I have the microphone. No, I have one. First, I would like to thank everybody here. And my concern about God's love through all the creation. When God created we human beings, He was very glad about creating us at His own image. So for that reason, we need to love each other, no matter who you are. Then I would like to go toward loving or welcoming LGBTQ and plus. We will welcome them, love them. But if they want to become a Catholic, will the clergy be able, if one day they decide to celebrate their wedding, will the clergy be able to celebrate that wedding? That's my question. Because we go from God's creation, the wedding should be celebrated between female and men. But if they want to be Catholic, that's correct. They can be Catholic. But will you guys be able to celebrate that wedding in the future? Today we don't know, but in the future, who knows? If they want to become a Catholic, they will decide to celebrate their wedding in the church. Thank you.
Like I say, they always give me the easy stuff. Of course, we know what our church teaches about the sacrament of matrimony and what we define it as. That I don't see that as changing, at least I don't. And so for some people, this is where we're always going to probably run into a little bit of a wall. You're right, because there are some things we can do and there's some things that we can't do. Some of those things, are way beyond my pay grade, way higher up the ladder. I cannot, as an individual Catholic priest at my parish, just to decide to go rogue and say, Bishop, I'm going to do my own thing over here, and we're going to start celebrating same-sex marriages. I would not be able to continue to function as a priest in the Diocese of Davenport under those circumstances, probably, right? And so, thank you, Bishop. So, I mean, I think so those are tough questions. But again, we kind of meet people. We've been saying this all the time. We meet people where they're at. We're kind of walking alongside them. Sometimes in the course of our conversation, we start to realize that their struggle with the church is maybe even less about having this thing that we call marriage, and more about being loved and welcomed and being respected. And so it might not go. It's probably not going to go that way. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a meaningful encounter and walk with them closer to the Lord. And this is tough stuff. And and I don't think we're ever going to please the fringes, frankly. I mean, I think there's always going to be those that are going to say any outreach whatsoever to this community is selling out. And there will be others that say anything unless we go kind of full into all of this and allow for same-sex marriages and et cetera, then we're not doing enough as a church. And I think we're always as a church probably gonna kind of take it from both sides a little bit with some of those difficult things. But what I'm trying to emphasize with all of you here today is there are people in your pews, in your parishes, in your schools, in your faith formation programs right now who are already thinking that they don't have a place in the church. We need to work to correct that. And we need to meet them where they are and listen to their stories and accompany them. And again, sometimes this does take years of listening and walking. And at a certain point after we've listened to them, then they're maybe a little bit more open to listen to us, as was said before.
And their families.
Yeah.
It's a much broader community.
No, I got you.
Yes, speaking to you, Mary Ann, and as a little bit of an experience here too, I have an annulled marriage, and I think you're right on as far as the fact that there's so many misconceptions, but I also think there's that issue of the rules that are associated with that and the purpose of that. Why do you go through that? And I try to simplify that with people that I know by saying, it's not the rules, it's about forgiveness. And it's about me going back to who I was when, and there's a purpose in that. And if we can simplify that for people who are thinking about it, I hope I've influenced people in some way with that, but I think sometimes we get all hung up on, well, you were Catholic, she wasn't, da-da-da-da-da. And if we can just jump ahead and say, whatever the process is, it's about forgiveness.
Definitely about forgiveness and healing, And thank you for being an advocate for that, because it's a lot easier for someone who has been through it to be that voice and witness and say, yes, it is worth it.
See any other hands go up in the air? One last time, we'll turn to that person at your table you've been sharing with.
There was one.
Oh, there. Well, in the last minute.
This one's kind of for Amy. I don't think she
can answer, but we'll hear it.
But my question is, I feel like we need to do something I have 3 adult children, and they're all single, and I think there's a real struggle with dating and trying to find people to date. And I don't know, as the diocese goes, if, offer anything for that age group, and basically out of college, up to whatever, 30 or something like that. I just feel like they're could be something for them.
Marianne, do you want to speak to any of the young adult ministries or
I
anything?
was gonna, it's a little bit more Trevor, but, Trevor? Is Trevor there?
He's over here.
Where's Trevor? Trevor, did you wanna comment on, I know you've been working on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think young adult ministry is something that's a really important need. And I think it goes along with kind of the model that I know that Marianne and I have talked a lot about, which is supporting young people, young adults firstly, and then of course supporting young marriages, because that's where a lot of the roots of family life begin. And before you get there, though, of course, you have to be able to support your young adults. And so I definitely agree we need to do more when it comes to young adults and young ministry. So I appreciate that you brought that forward.
And just work on vocation in general, just trying to teach that whole idea of vocation from, having that be part of the language of call and discernment and vocation from very young on, so people, find that vocabulary and are kind of looking for God to be part of that process of deciding on where one's going to go in life.